communication accessibility is huge, especially with real estate, because real estate's one of the biggest things you're doing in your life. Growing up as a CODA taught me that communication is so much more than words. It's about body language, it's about presence, energy, and even like the silence in between words. So I had to learn how to pick up the subtle clues, and now I think that I carry that into every part of my life. Just looking at
Hey everybody, Patrick Merrill, selling the beautiful Gulf Coast from Mississippi, Louisiana line down to the Florida Keys. We got you covered. I am working on my podcast as well, which is Lift It, and I have Maria here with me. She has actually written a book and been in real estate for, I believe, 30 years. Is that correct?
Yep, 35 years. It doesn't tell
Wow.
my age though.
No, God, no. I would say you just started. What, like 22, 23? Love it. Hey, it's just a number, you know. So I look at it, as long as I keep moving, I am good with that number. It don't matter.
Right. As long as the
Well,
back
tell
doesn't give
me,
out.
maybe go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about. I know you did a lot of the property management and real estate, so you've been doing a lot of different types of real estate, not just sales.
Yeah, so I am Maria Gallucci, and I am a realtor, and I've been at it for 35 years. And so I do mostly sale and buy side, and then new development. And then I wrote a book called Raised in Silence, and it's about growing up as a CODA, which is child of deaf adults.
Okay, that is very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I think what inspired me to write the book, because it's for everybody. It's not just for the deaf community. I think the heart of the book is rooted in my story, obviously, of being a CODA, but the message is universal, because it's about inclusion and the lessons I learned at home. Empathy, patience, and being present are the things that everybody, I think, needs in their life and relationships. And that's why I wrote the book, just to
Love
make
it.
awareness and open up to others.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, was this were you have brothers and sisters or just you?
Yeah,
Just out of
there's
curiosity.
6 of us. Yeah,
Okay,
there's 6
okay,
kids, and I always told
okay.
my parents, I'm like, "The only reason why you have 6 kids is because 'cause you're deaf."
My God, I love it. I love it. So, well, I used to work at the casinos, and that was one thing I always wanted to go learn how to do was the sign language. But it was
Yeah,
like
it's
every chance I got, it was something that would knock me out of it because I would actually have players that come in, and most of the time they were okay doing everything, and half the time, you didn't have to do a whole lot of signing. But I thought to myself, how nice that would be to be able to sign and talk to somebody and make them feel a little bit more welcome when they're in the casino playing at a table.
yeah, exactly, and I think that that's my motto of just trying is, like, just try is permission to show up while being, and you don't have to be perfect, but if you know, like, the basic signs, like, that makes them feel so much more welcome, and then makes them feel like someone's trying with them.
Yeah, I had a couple a while back. They were listing their house, and I was talking to them in a little bit, and I knew they knew another agent that I work with. So I went ahead and got the other agent. We both went over there so they would feel a little bit more comfortable. They just didn't feel like we were communicating, and I get it. So they wasn't comfortable, so I brought another agent with me that they knew, and it made a big difference. It really
It
did.
did. It does, and so that's why I have a ASL Realty, which is a nationwide platform to find ASL agents around the United States to help other deaf and hard of hearing clients, so they feel like they're able to communicate better, because I think that communication accessibility is huge, especially with real estate, because real estate's one of the biggest things you're doing in your life, and so for them to be able to understand it in their own language, I think that's huge.
Definitely. I mean, well, it makes a big difference. It's hard when you're going into something and you don't know anything about what you're going into. So at least if you got somebody that can communicate with you, it does make a big difference. I feel like being able to
It does.
communicate. I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure. And I think that it's shaped on the way I see communication today, because growing up as a CODA taught me that communication is so much more than words. It's about body language, it's about presence, energy, and even like the silence in between words. So I had to learn how to pick up the subtle clues, especially going into a home. Like I know that you need a friendly home, which means that the kitchen is open to the living room or the dining room, so they can communicate. And now I think that I carry that into every part of my life, like good
Look,
communication.
and that's important, but unfortunately, we see more and more people in that phone all the time. It's like,
I know.
wow, it's like, I love this. I was eating the other night and I heard his family sitting down, all right, this is family time. And every one of them within 3 minutes had the phone out.
It's
Yeah.
so
I'm
funny
like,
that you
well,
said that. I know exactly, because yet yesterday I was at a restaurant, and I looked around. I don't know why I looked up, but I looked around, and everyone, almost everybody in the place had their head down on their phones and not even communicating with the other person that they're there with.
I mean, it's like I have my phone in my hand and I'm walking to that door. I'm gonna wait for somebody to open it. Then I'm gonna walk through because I don't want to look away from my phone. And it's like, come
Exactly.
on. You can run into the restaurant, go get you a drink and come back out just like that. You ain't gotta have that phone all the time. But I mean, we use it for business, so we stay on it all the time. But I try not to get so focused in it that I'm closing out my surroundings. Yeah.
I know, exactly, especially when you're walking across the street and like, which I've done before. I'm guilty of that. Like walking across the street and a car's coming, you're like, "Oh, maybe I should not be on my phone."
Way and
Yeah.
I've gotten really, really better because luckily all the cars just about now are all hands-free, so that's helped a lot, and I try not to look at my phone when I'm driving on the interstate and things like that, and I mean, if you have a red light, fine, that's one thing,
Yeah.
but I can't get into half a text and not be able to be able to finish at the next red light. By then, I've done lost what I was talking about.
I
I mean,
know, exactly.
well, you're in Colorado?
Yes, I'm in
Okay.
Colorado.
What part?
In Denver. So I
Denver,
do,
okay.
yeah.
How's y'all's market out there going?
It is very, I was funny. I was just on the phone with my sales manager because we were talking about the market, because it's so hit or miss. Like the market has definitely taken a turn, especially here in Colorado. And we are having issues with like condos and townhomes. Like they're just not moving like they used to. And I put a house on the market, and it sold 35 over asking, multiple offers within 2 hours. And then I have other ones that are just sitting. Like
Yeah,
the houses that you think are going to sit go, and the houses you think are going to sell are sitting. So it's hit or miss. There's no rhyme or reason with the market out here. Where are
is
you at?
I'm in Mississippi down on the
In
coast.
Mississippi? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm past the go like 30 minutes from Alabama, hour and a half from Florida, and an hour to New Orleans. I'm kind of in the
Okay.
middle of
You're in the
everything on
middle
the
of everything.
coast.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why everybody's like, have you ever thought about moving? I'm like, why would I? I got, if I want a city, I'm right here. If I want the blue water, I'm right here. If I just want to go to the beach or the park, there's plenty of things to do. And most of the year we have great weather, except for right now when it's humid as it can be.
Yeah.
I would say our market is to the point of like you get a new listing, either you put it on, you get 20 people in it the first or second day of it, and it sells just like you said, the same thing, or it sits.
Or
Because it's
sits.
like
Yeah.
it seems like everybody wants the same house.
Hmm.
We do now we do like I'm sure y'all do too. Would you feel like the harder sales are like the second homes at this time and maybe not many people
Yeah.
are trying to buy a second home or
Yeah, I think that, well, because we have the mountains here. So we have Vail
uh-huh.
and Summit County and like those areas. And those areas are doing better than most areas, because the people who want to buy there are going there to buy a second home. And then them upping the interest rates didn't help us either, because they
No.
did start going down, and then we started seeing movement like in March and April, and then all of a sudden the rates went up, so now it went back down. So it just depends on where. Yeah,
It's just I think it's scary. I think it's a great
I think
time
so
to be
too.
because look at what we've seen in our lifetime or my lifetime anyway. I'll be 60 this year, and I sit there and I go back
You
to
do
like,
not look 60.
thank you, I love you, girl. It is a when I look at it and I think, oh my God, we did that in elementary school. Now that was back in the 70s, and I'm like, wow. But 70, 80, 90, it's like, all right, we grew up watching the Jetsons, and it's like, oh my God, we're turning into the
True.
Jetsons. I mean, well, look at it. You had Rosie the maid, the robot, and they were talking on the phone and on the computer to each other like they did, and now they're making flying cars. So what else?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
It's insane.
crazy. I love it. I love being able to see all that good stuff. I stay on YouTube quite a bit. Uh, I've been out that way once. I went to Denver. I was trying to go up to, I had the plans to go to Vail. It was one of their big, like, arts and craft festival thing
Mhm.
up there. So I got to Denver. I was, I guess, at the bottom of the hill to go up to Vail the next day. Well, apparently they had a freak snowstorm. And I'm from
Of
the
course.
coast. I don't drive in snow.
You're like,
If
"No, thank you."
We'll drive in sand all day long, but I can't drive in snow. I mean, I called up there and they're like, well, we can't cancel your reservation because it's past the 48-hour window. So I kept talking. I was like, all right, I'll call you back. And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock when I woke up. I'm trying to rearrange my plans because I'm driving to Vegas, but I'm making different stops that I want to
Stops
go
on the way.
see. And Vail was on my list for that trip. So I kept looking at the weather, I kept looking outside. Like I said, it's like 3 or 4 in the morning by this time. So I called him up again. I think his name was Jim. I said, Jim. And I went over with everything and I explained to him, I said, look, I ain't from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We don't drive in this crap. I don't know how to drive in the snow. I said, if I drive up there, I'm probably going to slide off the mountain. And I don't want to do that. Do y'all have a shuttle bus? And by this time, he's laughing. And he's like, no, we don't have a shuttle bus. I said, well, I'll give you $100 if you come down that mountain and drive me up there. So I ain't got to drive. He's like, Mr. Merrill, he said, I'm just going to we're going to do you one better. He said, I ain't supposed to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a refund on everything. I'm like, I do appreciate it. It's hard because I was so excited to go there. I'd never been to a ski
Yeah, it's
town.
very pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Denver, just being in Denver by itself was beautiful enough, but unfortunately, the plans got rerouted around a lot. Yeah, that's when they had that horrible event out in Vegas at the concert. I was driving out there, and when I'd rearranged my route and ended up in Salt Lake City, my phone is blowing up, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And everybody was freaking out because they had already thought I made it to Vegas. So I'm like, no, no. So I was just, when
Yeah.
I woke up that morning, I was like, oh my God, what a senseless, horrible person doing this shit. It drives me
It's awful.
nuts.
I
I wouldn't
know.
even drive down that way. Like I said, I was driving to Vegas, and that was my main. I'd come in on the strip off the, I think it's the 15, and go up. I wouldn't even drive in front of it. I didn't want to see the curtains hanging out the window. I didn't want to go by there. And I
I
didn't.
know.
I
It's
didn't even
so
go
sad.
down there, and I love Mandalay Bay. I love staying there. And it was about 2 years before would stay back down there, and I
Yeah,
had so many
exactly.
people. I was going out like twice a year, and I usually stay for about 2.5 weeks because it's such a long drive. And I've met a lot of people out that way and just going in, and a lot of the bartenders and cocktail waitresses and some of the dealers, at Mandalay Bay. So I was excited to be able to get back in there and tell everybody hello. And on the coast, when Katrina came through back in '05, she rearranged our Mississippi Gulf Coast area a little bit in Louisiana. But where was I going with the story? We had our casinos, most of our casinos were shut down and just blown away, gone away. So that was me. My job was on the other side of the highway and about, I don't know, 3 blocks over from where it used to sit. But we had a lot of the dealers that went out there. So when I'm out there, I'm always walking through and looking for the other dealers that worked here. And I have like 6 I see almost every time I go out there, just walking through the casino and say hi to them. It's just, yeah, life, it is amazing when you think everything's going the way it's supposed to, then you get that little
Mhm.
hiccup and you just get turned in the direction that you need to be going in. Yeah, I
Yeah,
really feel
exactly.
that. I
Things
mean, everything
always
happens for a reason. Totally.
I know. I think so too, and I feel like are the casinos out there the same as Vegas? Like, are they, like, glamorous and
Oh my God, yeah, yeah. They
yeah.
really are. We opened here. I started in 1999. No, 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 93. That would have been probably my one of my last New Year's Eves off because they gave us off. They said, we were training on property while they were building. Because down here, it's like, I never touched chips. We didn't have any of this stuff,
Yeah, that's what I was
ever.
wondering, yeah.
So it was great for the economy because you got all these people moving here to work, and they love the lifestyle here because it's so much more laid back. and especially when like Atlantic City and people out that in Vegas was coming down. I mean, it's great. It was helping everybody. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
working at Walmart, which don't get me wrong, I loved what I did at Walmart. But yeah, my next step with them was management, an assistant manager program. And when I interviewed, they said, well, we'll need you to go to Maine or California. And I'm like, what? No.
You're like, no.
And they're like, why? I'm like, why do I need to go there when we have hundreds of Walmarts right here? I said, you keep me in 3 hours of my home or 30 minutes from the closest beach, and I'll go there. I'm not going to California, and I ain't going to Maine. So I it kinda helped me open up my eyes, and then, like I said, when I started over there and I was making more money that took me 6 years to be making, see what I'm saying? So it helped big
Makes
time,
sense.
and
Yeah.
like I said, I mean, if I was at Walmart, I'd still be going at it, and I'd be in management probably, but I felt like when the casino I was like, "That's just entertaining," and I had no
Yeah.
idea what I was getting into, and I got to tell you, I loved it. When I went to work, it was showtime. 8 hours, boom, I was on stage with people, and I loved it. I kept music in my head all the way to work, which was 30 minutes for me. I would have the music all the way up. So when I got to work, that was in my head for 8 hours, and it's
And you probably meet so many different
yes.
people, and like that's what would be just amazing, like
Mhm.
to be in that environment. Because I love people watching, like, and
It's a
in that environment would probably be so amazing.
I can sit downtown at the Four Queens on the bar playing video poker because 'cause you're right there. The strip is right there with the show and everything. I can sit there for the whole day and watch people.
Oh yeah,
It's just
me
I
too.
love it. It's entertaining to me. I mean, because it's totally different. That's not even on the strip. I can set the Vegas Strip at the bar and just play my video poker. I love video poker, and it's such a different environment. Everything is so busy, busy, busy out there, and
Exactly. It's like go, go, go.
I still open the door and I hold the door for people and things like that. And this little lady come up behind me. This is like my second or third trip out there. I'm like, hey, y'all come on in. You hold the door, like, this little lady come on. She said, sweetie, where you from? I said, Mississippi. Why? She said, baby. She said, I am 80 years old and I've been coming here for years and years and years. She said, these little shits ain't gonna hold the door and they ain't gonna take it from you. Come on. I like to fell out, but she made sense,
Yeah.
and it was just that one little thing. And then I noticed, but it's like that eye contact. She was the only person that even made eye contact with me when I'm home the door for other people to come on in. So
See, that's awesome.
it opened my eyes up to what she was saying. I'm like, okay, well, they're still either way. You can be polite with people,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and it's like just take somebody else grab the door. So I've had to learn how to maneuver around that. I
I
tell
know,
you,
like, I love going places with my son because he opens up the doors for me. He, like, and I never have to carry my luggage, like, even through the airports because 'cause we're going to, the LA Pride Parade, this I'm
nice.
so excited. I've always wanted
Yeah,
to go. Yeah, yeah, we leave next week. Yeah, so it's next week, and so, and my son's gay as well, and so
okay,
he is always wanted to like go to, we always go to the Denver one, but LA was always at the same time. And so now it's Denver one's at the end of June, and then this one's next week. So
good.
we're able to go. So I'm so excited. But like going through the airports with like my carry-on, never have to do, he strolls my carry-ons, he carries my purses for me. So it's like awesome.
That's a good son, and he
Yeah.
understands and is good, because he sounds like he's respectful of other people as well,
Yeah, yeah.
and I
Yeah,
like
he
seeing
holds
that.
doors for other people, like, he's always done that, like, it's amazing. I trained him well.
But you did good. I had, I was out the I stayed down in Florida. I have an RV I bought about 4 or 5 years ago. I wanted a beach house, but to be honest with you, I can't pay those HOA fees. If I was
The
millions
HOAs
into it,
out
I
here,
would be
they're
fine.
insane.
Yes.
They're
So
insane.
I bought my RV and I park it. I use my hands a lot. I know you can't see what I'm saying, but I park it north of the interstate. So it's more out of the hurricane alleyway and stuff like that. So But when I'm using it, I take it and I set it up at one of the beaches, and it's on the bay side. So I got right around the corner. I could be on the main beach,
This
but I'm
is
between
so
the beach
pretty.
on the bay. Beautiful blue water. You'll definitely have to go look at some of those pictures. But I set my RV up for 4 months out of the year, and I just drive back and forth because it's only about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And I'm
Yeah.
licensed in Florida as well. So my goal is the older I get, the more I want to try to stay down there. And it's not
Mhm.
that I want to go try to grab and make a big market for myself in Florida. I'm just mainly if people, my friends and all that know me and say, look, we're coming down there. My mother's looking for something. Maybe you can keep an eye out, and things like that. And maybe even do some open houses down there. So
Yeah, I love
our
Florida.
beaches,
I love
our
Sarasota.
beaches are beautiful. You would
I know,
love
and
that.
Siesta Keys, like, the sand there, because I just got back from Cabo, and the sand was
Okay.
kind of, like, hard and rough, but I feel
Rocky?
like
Yeah.
yeah, it was, like, rocky, and, Siesta Key and Sarasota, that whole, like, coast right there is so beautiful because the sand literally just, like, melts through your feet, like, it's
You need to
so
come to
beautiful.
Destin. You need to look up Destin, Florida. You're gonna be
Okay,
like, "Oh my god." Even look at some of my videos, you'll see me going over the bridge right there, and you're gonna be like, "Wow." I mean, it's just
try that.
unbelievable, and I promise you, you're gonna love the sand because it is just like you said, it is
Yeah, it's
so
just, like, so
fine.
fine.
Yeah, yeah. You see that when I went to Cocoa Beach in '99 or in 2000, their sand to me was more like rocky, like a gritty. Yeah, and that's why I don't know how like here, we can't drive on the beach. We're gonna sink, but down there, they're harder sand, they drive on it, and even out in California, I wanted to do Highway 1 for my 50th birthday. So we did it and drove all the way out. The next morning started at Santa Monica Pier and drove 2 days up to the Golden Gate Bridge. That's an incredible drive. Absolutely incredible. I wouldn't want to drive the other way from, yeah, I mean, because it was like straight up mountains and then
Mhm.
straight down the
Straight
cliffs.
down. Oh,
So I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, I don't think I want to be in that lane. So, but that was a really, really beautiful ride. I
That's a
love it out
beautiful
there.
drive to that one, and I think it's the Muir Forest, the MUIR Forest. It's in San Francisco. It's on the other side of the
Okay.
Golden Gate Bridge. That was so pretty because it's right there on, like, the coastline, and
Okay.
the trees are just huge and incredible. Like, that park is so pretty.
Glad I ain't the only one that knows trees.
I
When
know.
I leave here, the landscaping changes so quick, from Mississippi into Louisiana, and then from Louisiana to Texas. And then it's like, wow, look at these trees. We don't have these at home. And a
I
lot
know.
of it is the landscape changes, even some of the structures. The houses are a little bit different. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
That's how it is here too, because if you go, like, east of Denver, it's all just plains and there's not, like, beautiful trees, and then if you go west, then you have more trees and more mountains and everything, and that's the one thing that I love.
well, do y'all do a lot of military relocation there?
And we have a base in Colorado Springs. I think it's Fort Carson, I think. So we do some relocation to that base, but
Okay.
there's not really one in Denver.
Okay. We've got like here in Mississippi, we have Keesler Air Force Base. So, and then like in Florida, there's right there, I think Hulbert Field and Eglin. So there's a lot of bases in that area. So sometimes we get a lot of military that comes through. And of course, I try to get them because most of the time, if they're only going to be here a year or two, I suggest go ahead and buying a brand new build. That way,
Yeah,
within the 2 years, you have a 2-year-old home. All the updates, you're going to have a better resale versus buying one that was built in the 50s. So the same money. And do any of
exactly.
y'all's builders offer good incentives as far as low interest or anything?
Yeah, they've been starting to do that ever since the market, like, started to shift, and so I'm a real estate agent for a developer out here, and so once the market started shifting, we actually had to rent some of them out. So a lot of people, because I have some of my own personal flips that are just sitting, so we just been renting them out until
Smart.
the market recovers. But they do offer, because one, I think it was offering like 15,000 credit towards
Wow.
closing costs if you use their lender. And then but I always have my buyers still get like a pre-approval to see with another lender to see if the
Right.
interest rates are the same, because
True.
usually when they're giving you an incentive, something comes with it. And so either the rates a little bit higher, but I've noticed that they haven't been. They've been the same rates. So that's good.
Wow, that's good. We
Yeah.
every now and then they'll run specials here. Like they had, I think, last 4 months ago, they were running a 3.99, which was shocking on a new bill for 30 years.
3.99?
30-year mortgage. And I've got one person going to look tomorrow because I called one of the builders, said, look, I got somebody ready. And they're like, well, I've got like 3 or 4 other houses. If I can move them, I can probably get them to 3.99 interest rate still. So I'm like, that's huge.
That's
3.99,
huge.
30
Well,
years?
I know, and
Yeah.
I did a closing the other day, and I didn't see what the rate was, and they got when we were at closing, I saw it was 5.6. I'm like 5.6. I'm like, how did you get that? It hasn't been that low
Yeah.
like
Mm-mm.
forever. And they got 5.6. I'm like, wow. And now it's obviously went back up, but it'll go back down
That's
hopefully.
I think it's all gonna level out. It seems to always level out. Yesterday, a man I was talking to over in a license in Alabama as well. We're, like, right beside each other,
Well, yeah,
so
because you're like in a little like all of the little areas where
yeah,
you are all together, right? Yeah.
yeah. So it's like
Yeah.
boom, 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 and I was talking to an agent over there, and he was telling me how many repossessions he has right now. 65. 65 repo properties that he's managing and taking care of right now. I was floored. I mean, I had a feeling they were going to be coming, and it's
I
like
did too.
with the insurance hurts us more than anything, because especially when you're a young buyer, single mom, a single dad, with maybe a kid or two, but not married, and still, if we could, I like to try to keep them their note where it's legible, workable, I should say, because a lot of times we'll go into it and I try to remind them everything could go up, so if they telling me they only spend 1,200 a month, that means, okay, well, we need to not be in a flood zone. We need to be north of the interstate. We need to do everything we can do to help. But like that up there, it's about 40 minutes from where I am to go up there, but it's not that far out of the way. 3.99, I will carpool for 3.99 all day
Yeah.
long. That's huge. That's really what. Well, I'm curious, and I always like to know. I mean, are termites a thing in y'all's area like they are here?
It's not. And
Okay.
because I think we're drier too. And then and also
Well, yeah,
mold.
froze half the time
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
It's like y'all had snow everywhere.
Yeah. But we had a totally warm winter. Like it snowed more like now than it did the entire winter. Like it was a
Wow.
warm winter. But I always tell people too, because if I get clients who are moving from the East Coast or the South, they're always afraid of mold and termites. But I always tell them like we can test for mold and termites, but Colorado's not known for that because we're just too dry.
That's kind of what. Well, I know the girl. Back to my casino days. One of the girls I worked with and her husband, they are actually in Lake Tahoe. So I've been out there like 3 times, and I'll jump in and just say hi to them and stuff like that. So I was asking her about it. She's like, "Baby," she said, "we have snow year round almost." So I'm like, "I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it." I mean, it's so
No,
beautiful up there. It's like Lake Tahoe to me is just a huge park. I mean, I think I drove it twice now, and I've just been like almost the whole day just driving the whole lake. It's unbelievable. It's just
I love.
beautiful.
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. It's so pretty.
It's
Like the lake
very
is just
pretty.
gorgeous, and
Well,
they have a casino there. I think,
yeah,
right?
yeah, they have a
Yeah,
couple of
that's what I
them.
was
Yeah,
thinking.
they have a
Yeah,
Hard Rock, and I don't know if I think it's a Harrah's still
yeah,
out there. So they have 2 or 3. That's the first time I've seen people lay out on a rock.
yeah,
I'd never seen that, and I was trying to figure out because 'cause we're going around these curves and all these cars are lined up, and they're having to go down this, I don't know, 30 foot, 20 foot straight down to go down to the water, and I look over, I'm like, "What the hell? They're laying on big rocks." I mean, I was like, You see some every time. If you're looking, you'll see something new every day.
So funny. I don't know if I could do that because I don't like bugs and sitting
But
on
not saying I wouldn't wanna
rocks
do the
or
walk,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
and
That's it. No way.
they're
Yeah.
parked
I'm
everywhere. It's
out.
kinda like what we used to do at the beach. We used to go park all over, park right there and walk out on the sand, but not no more. They've changed all that. On let's if you got a minute more, we're about 30 minutes. If you're still good, I can talk a little bit longer if you got a few more minutes. Let's just say average home, 1,600 square foot. Homeowners insurance, what kind of rates do y'all pay?
So ours out here, so probably for like a $500,000 home out here, the insurance is probably around, I would say like 2,500 a year.
That's not bad.
And our taxes are really low. So we have really low taxes in Colorado. So for a home that's 500,000, the tax, if it's like an older home, the taxes are probably, I would say 3,000 a year.
That's not
So
bad. That's still not bad.
yeah, it's pretty reusable out here. But if you get into the mountains or the foothills, then it's hard to like. I had a hard time getting one of my clients in Morrison insurance at all because of the fires, and so
Yeah.
so it's hard because of the fires
Is
if
that
you're
a
in the
separate rider
mountains.
policy? Like we have our homeowners and we have a separate one for flood type policy. Did they do
No,
that
it's
or is it
included. Yeah,
okay?
but
That's not
their
bad
rates are
though.
just higher. Yeah.
That's not
So
bad.
for
And
that
see,
house, it would probably be like 3 to 4,000
well,
a
still
year.
ain't horrible. And
Yeah.
our taxes, say up to about a $200,000 house, depending on what little town you're in, probably 12 to maybe 1,600 a year, which isn't horrible.
Well,
And
that's
that
not bad at
again,
all.
each little town has a little number or two different, so it's not
Has
too
something
crazy.
different. Yeah, exactly.
Can people find your book? Are you on Amazon or how can we
Yes,
get your book?
I'm actually Amazon's #1 bestseller. And
Yeah,
then, yeah, so they can find it on Amazon and then, but it's on all book platforms. So raisedinsilence.com has all of where, and it's for sale and it's called Raised in Silence.
nice. So if somebody's thinking about moving to the area, they could reach out at any time and speak with you about it and
Yes.
consultation and
Yeah, for sure. So my website is galluccihomes.com.
perfect. Perfect. Anything else you want to give a shout out to or think about? And I like to try to do things that are motivation, and make people feel good and kind of like even
Y-
doing like what we were talking about, holding the door for people. To me, that makes me feel good just doing it.
Yeah,
And it's like
exactly.
simple little things can turn somebody's life around and just like that. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, I always say one act of kindness can change that person's entire day. And so
Yeah.
for me, like I always try to give compliments. I try to be inclusive. And I think that if we all just try to be more kind and more put ourselves in their perspective, like would we want it done to us? So for
Right.
me, for me, it's just try because if you just try with them, you have no idea how you could just change their life.
Totally, and that's what I try to tell everybody. It's like some of our newer agents get aggravated because they're not responding to me. I can't reach them. My sellers, I'm gonna send them a nasty note, and I'm like, no. And they're
No, I know.
why? I'm like, you have to understand. What if this person was in a car crash? What if this person's aunt died? We
We
can't
don't know what they're
control
going through.
everything. No, I mean,
Exactly.
I tell everybody I am the delivery man. That's it. This is where we're at. This is what we gotta do. I'm gonna handle the stress, but there are some things I can't do, so I'll have to reach out to you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot, and like you said, it's a lot of the communication. I
Yeah.
mean, I
Communication is huge
it is. I mean, and
and it
set that
connects people.
I try not to look at my phone when I'm showing houses. I really do, because it's like I watched somebody do that one day, and I'm like, not paying attention to the buyers, but I had to be there for my seller. So, which luckily I was because that agent that came with them wasn't telling them nothing about the house. They were playing on their phone. So I walked their buyers through the house, and luckily they did buy, but it was just weird. It's like that's just me. I can't sit there. I don't want to be on my phone. When
Exactly.
I'm
Because it shows that you're not present. It makes
yeah,
them feel like you're not listening to them. And all people want to be is seen and heard.
and be in the moment.
Yep,
I mean, really.
exactly. Be in the
Well,
moment.
I feel absolutely lifted. I hope you do as well. I see that big old smile on your face. And I hope when you come down this our way, down to Destin or Fort Walton, look at Pensacola up on the Panhandle right there. You'll see it's just like, wow. And also, you go on my Facebook. I've got a ton of that stuff on my
Yeah,
Facebook
I'll
as
go look
well.
for sure.
Do. Well, I do appreciate you, and hopefully we can do this again sometime. And
Yeah, that's great.
stay warm out there.
Okay, I'll try. It's supposed to be like almost like 95 today, so it's supposed to be warm today.
Wow. See, we'll have that, and but we got the humidity, so it make it like 105 it feels
I know, right?
like.
Yeah. My hair does not
Awesome.
do good in the humidity.
Mine, what's left, don't either. But ball cap, I do appreciate you. We're gonna close out, and if you'll hang on till it finishes our countdown, and we'll talk soon. Thank y'all again for taking the time to come along my venture with me. I am Patrick Merrill, and I hope you have been lifted. If not, let me know. We'll figure out a way. There's always a way. Thank y'all again for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and tell your friends. Y'all have a great day.